Hello everyone, this is Robert Plank. I want to welcome you today to this very special and very important call. If you can hear us talking, then can you go ahead in the question box and type in start. I'm kind of sick of saying ready, let's just say start, and let's get this show started. So what we're going to be sharing with you today is a very special, very important tool. And it's kind of funny because the way I used to look at a lot of stuff as far as whatever niche you're in, having a membership site, having a training course, you always used to be stuck between, well, am I going to teach somebody how to do something? Am I teach somebody real estate, teach somebody how to draw, teach somebody how to play the guitar, or am I going to do it for them? And you were kind of stuck, and both have their problems and their good parts, because if you teach someone something, then you get a little bit of money from a lot of people. But if you do something for someone, you get a lot of money from a few people. And if you do something for someone, you don't really have the autopilot stuff. If you teach someone something, you have to kind of have a list. So if you do something in the middle, which is what Lance and I have been doing, what we're going to bring out Lance in a minute to talk about, is this scary thing called software. And what happened, and the whole reason why we're here today, is because Lance and I put out a training course a few months ago, and it was really great, but it just didn't sell. And so what we ended up doing was we added, and instead of using this scary with software, we added in a tool. We taught people how to pretty much make a product, and we added in one little tool that people would be logging into that training course, logging into that membership site every single day to use. And so we're going to be giving with you a plugin that will allow you to make a tool for your members. So I'm really excited about this, really excited to hear what Lance has to say. So can you all help me in welcoming Lance Tomashiro to today's webinar? Hey, Lance.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for that. And I almost feel like we need to get like an applause track or something like that going.
You know what? I'll dub it in afterwards.
All right, perfect. Even better. And you know, what we're going to share today with everybody is absolutely, I mean, first of all, as many people know, we're very big believers in membership sites. We're very big believers in different types of models of membership sites, whether you're delivering an ebook. Robert and I consider that a membership site. If you're delivering an actual training course, Robert and I consider that a membership site. If you sell software, Robert and I consider that a membership site. And what we're going to show you and share with you guys today, I honestly believe is going to turn the whole membership site industry on its head, because there is nothing out there anywhere at all that exists anything like that. And the amount of power and the amount of things that you can do with this tiny little tool that we're going to share with you guys is absolutely going to blow your mind. So before I show that to you, let's get everybody orientated first of all and talk about orientated. Is that a word? Oriented. Right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
I think both are words.
Oh, yeah, one's like people from the Orient and one's people that have been orientated, right? Or something like that. Anyway, so membership sites. First of all, if you're doing any kind of anything online right now, you need to know about membership sites, because if you look around, every site, every single website on the internet is right now reinventing themselves into a membership site. And if you don't believe me, look around. You can look at Amazon, who has always sort of been a membership site, but now they're not even just a shopping site. They've got this thing called Amazon Prime, where you get free movies, you get free shipping, you get all of these extra bonuses for being a member of their site. You've got sites like Google, who a lot of people don't think of as a membership site, when in fact it's huge. If you think about Google Plus, you think about Gmail. These are all places where people are actually changing membership sites or creating membership sites. And the whole point of this is to get people coming back to your site every single day. The more that somebody comes back to your site for whatever reason is another chance for you to not only build a better relationship with that customer for the future, but also to show them other likewise offers. And that's why all of these people are doing it. You can look at sites like Facebook, obviously one of the biggest free membership sites in the world right now. You've got sites like CNN, where you can log in, you can get your customized news, and even Robert was showing me a site yesterday called whatismyip.com,
yep,
where the whole site exists so that people can, all of us have a specific basically address that our computer is, and a lot of times you need to know what that is. So you go to this website, and the only purpose it serves is you hit the website, and really big it says your IP address is blank. Well, what they've actually started doing is they've now added in a forum so that they can have a membership site for people that are interested in geeky sort of internet stuff as well. So every single site that you look at on the internet right now is reinventing itself to become a membership site. So why is all of this happening? Well, first of all, because it's so simple to do now, and everybody's realizing that the medium of being able to connect with your clients, no matter what niche you're in, to connect with your audience, to get to know them better, is going to be the way of business in the future. So why is it so simple? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It doesn't matter if you're an offline consultant. Are you the type of person that helps bring new companies onto the internet? Do you help them bring their sites? Well, guess what? What I'm about to show you is for you. You absolutely need a membership site. Are you a coach? Do you help people sort of work through their daily processes? Do you help them be more productive? Are you a life coach? Do you help them learn how to knit? Do you help them do something like that? If you're a coach, you're absolutely going to be blown away at what we're going to show you. Are you a mentor? Robert and I mentor lots of people where we try to show them step by step, and we want to keep them on track for what they're doing. And the problem is that I'm sure you've all experienced, especially if you've bought a product online, if you've tried to get training online, if you've tried to be coached online. The problem is you get in these membership sites and there's just a bunch of information. There's nowhere for you to take notes. There's nowhere for you to track your progress, and that's just the start of it. Also, do you create digital products? A lot of people create software. A lot of people create PDFs. A lot of people create different sorts of digital videos that people want to go through. You're going to love the way that you can use this. In fact, I'm going to show you a really cool thing that Robert and I use this software for in order to help people install their software. Really cool. So there's tons and tons of things that you can use this for. And in fact, if you're just getting started online, you are going to love this, because this is the easiest entry to create content to keep people coming to your site right off the bat that I can think of out there today. And here's really what's happened is that WordPress, this blogging platform, has completely changed the game online. Now anybody can get a simple, cheap hosting platform like HostGator or something like that, and in a few simple clicks can install a WordPress blog. Not only that, it's now become so easy to manage a WordPress blog, and it's so basically accepted on how WordPress blogs work, how they function, how you maintain them, that it's now accessible to everyone. And even better, WordPress is free. So let's talk about WordPress and, more importantly, membership plugins, because what's happened now is that WordPress has come along and they've created this basically content management system for people to deliver products, to deliver services, to communicate with their clients in a private way. And what's happened is all of these other third-party vendors have come out with some amazing membership plugins that allow you to not only track your users, but also to collect payments, turn on and off their accounts, and basically handle a lot of the sort of administrative tasks that we really don't want to deal with our membership sites. And the thing is that there's a ton out there that are great. They're super easy to use, and best of all is now they're inexpensive. I think you can get a full-blown, unlimited use on as many sites as you want, licensed for the best plugins in the world for membership sites for $300. Now, if you think about being able to start a business for a hosting account and $300, I mean, where else can you do that? On top of it, just a few years ago, and I'm talking about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, like when I was getting started online, membership plugins, first of all, they weren't plugins. They didn't sit on top of WordPress. They were these massive, hard-to-use software systems, and the one that I personally bought was $2,000 at the time, and it didn't even work half as good as what we have today. So we're in a really interesting time period right now where it's not only accessible, it's not only cheap, consumers in our target markets actually know how to use these things. So, I mean, we are at a very amazing place right now. But here's the thing. What me and Robert are about to show you is something that is going to take WordPress and WordPress membership communities to the absolute next level. In fact, like I said at the very beginning of this, I've looked around. I haven't seen anything like this out there on the market at all. And I mean, when you see this, you're going to absolutely love it and be blown away. This is literally going to change the way that we think of communities, that we think of membership sites, that we think of how we're going to be able to do training online. So just imagine really quickly being able to have your members track their progress through your membership site or through your training. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples. In fact, I'm going to pick on Robert and myself when we get to this, but I'm going to show you a couple of examples. You know, most of the training that I've purchased online, and I purchase a lot of online training, and I'm sure you do as well, I get into the members area and I've got just a ton of stuff. Which is what I want. I've got my 10 videos that I need to go through. Might be 10 hours of training. But the problem is I don't sit down and go through it for 10 hours at a time. And so what happens typically is, well, two things. One is you get inside of these membership areas and you're not allowed to comment at all. It's just like, here's the video, here's the PDF, read it, look at it, do whatever. That's option number one. Option number two, which is what most membership sites are now starting to do, is they'll actually turn on the comments. So what happens is that all of the members in the members area start leaving comments. So what you end up with is a video and then 400 comments that may not apply to you, and they're all public. Everybody inside of the membership area can see them. Now imagine for a minute how much that whole thing would change if, on top of having the public comments or not having public comments at all, your members were able to keep private comments just to themselves that nobody else could see, so that they could take their own personal notes, so that they could track their own progress, so that they could actually mark off when things are actually complete. That's what we're going to show you today. Now, another thing that a lot of people miss out on, especially when you're dealing with either coaching or you're dealing with offline consulting, bringing people online, is a lot of times we have these checklists that we know people need to go through. So, for example, if you were an offline consultant and you were trying to bring somebody online, well, there's a couple of things that you need from that person, right? They need to choose their domain name. They need to set up their WordPress blog. They need to install their theme. They need to put in certain plugins. Well, what typically happens is we know this because we're professionals, we know we're very close to what our products are, but the clients don't. And so when they don't have an actual checklist online in your members area, a place where they can communicate with you, again, in private, then it sort of gets lost by the wayside. And so imagine being able to basically complete checklists. And the whole idea of this as well is, Robert and I in our trainings, after every single module, we tell people, you have a challenge. You need to complete these 4 things. And a lot of times, even though we think, well, these are real easy 4 things, people want to know that they're progressing the way that they should, and they actually want to have that checklist. So just keep that in mind as we go and start doing the demonstration here. Another big one I sort of mentioned on is keeping your coaching students or your mentoring students accountable. So if you told somebody, if somebody told you they're going to do these 4 things, wouldn't it be awesome to actually be able to create checklists for them in order to do that? And finally, this is my favorite. This is something that we're going to show you. It's going to blow you away. It's something that we kind of slipped into this plugin that we're going to show you. And what it allows you to do is literally create plug-and-play forms, even if you don't have a membership site, even if you don't have a membership plugin. If you've got a WordPress blog and you are in the, let's just say, real estate niche, and one of the things that you want to provide to your potential clients in order to get them to your site is let's say a real estate contract, a rental agreement, for example. Wouldn't it be cool if, and a lot of these sites exist, but wouldn't it be cool if instead of just saying, here's this rental agreement, download it, and then figure out how to type in your name and replace your state and put in how much it costs, wouldn't it be cool if your potential customers, your potential prospects could come to a free sort of blog, a free page on the internet, and you said, well, what state are you in? And then they click a button and enter in their state. And you say, well, what's the address of the property you want to rent out? And they enter in the address, and then they click a button, and their form is automatically generated for them. Holy cow, that would change everything, right? Well, this simple plugin is going to allow you to do exactly that. And if any of this sounds impossible, well, you know what? Before today, it was, but not anymore, because what we're going to show you today is this brand new plugin that Robert and I have been working on and perfecting for about a year now, and it's called WP Notepad. And what this is going to let you do is let people take notes, create checklists, and allow you to create plug-and-play forms directly in your membership site. Now, when I say membership site, remember, we've redefined what a membership site is on the internet. So if you've got a WordPress blog or you know how to install one, then you're going to want to pay real close attention, because this is going to be for you. So here we go. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to sort of what we talked about at the very beginning. And this is what a lot of typical membership sites look like, or training courses. In fact, this is one of Robert and Mai's. Is Mai's the right word? I think so.
Ours.
As ours, thank you. This is one of our membership sites. And if you look in here, I mean, this is what you usually see when you buy something online at any price point. You have basically a WordPress blog with some kind of theme on top of it, and then you've got content in here, right? So, for example, we've got a webinar replay right here where the person can come in, they can click this, start the video, but they're not allowed to leave any comments. They can download the PDF, and here they are allowed to leave comments, but let me show you the differences. So now so these comments may not apply, and so if you were like wanting to if you were first of all wanted to say, I downloaded this PDF, or you wanted to take comments right under the PDF so you always knew where they were, well, you don't always want those public. So basically, some things you want public, some things you don't want public, and that really is a problem in a lot of membership sites or even product delivery sites that exist on the internet today. So again, you can scroll through, and I'm sure you've all been in membership sites that basically look exactly like this. And to be honest, this was the best that we all could do as entrepreneurs and product delivery people, because of the tools that existed online at the time. And quite honestly, I know that we've had students that are frustrated with this sort of model. I know that I have been frustrated being in sites with this kind of model, because I mean, we're all sort of used to, when we learn stuff, for example, I mean, when you go through school, I used to write in my book. I want my notes by the stuff that I actually use it for. So if I wanted to know how to build a list fast, I want my own notes right here along with it. And this just did not exist in the past. And so along came this program that Robert and I did recently, and he sort of talked about it at the very beginning, and it was called Make a Product. So I'm going to go ahead and just log in here first of all really quick, because I want to show you the difference between, let me just turn this off really quick. Hey Robert, what's up? Okay, there you go. So now, compared to what we just looked at, I want to show you sort of how WP Notepad sort of changes the user experience. So first of all, let's go to Module 201, for example, and we'll just look at this. And when you come in here now, there's something a little bit different. So we've got our normal video, just like existed in the site that I just showed you, just like you have all seen online before. You can play the video, you can download the PDF. Here's the resources we've got here. But now something is a little bit different here, and I'm actually going to go to the actual post so you can see something here. Now, when we scroll down, we've got Judy Jackson, one of our favorites, who's probably on this call right now, and all of these people that are leaving their public comments, right? So all of these comments people can actually see out in the open. And just as you would expect, here's the normal comment box that we're all used to seeing inside of WordPress sites. But if you noticed up here at the top, there was something that was actually added in here. And this is a note box and a checkbox that says you've actually completed this step. Now, there's this thing here that says click to hide, which just means, you know, your private notes go away right there. But what's different about this, and I'll actually do this, is if I leave a note here, so let me just say how to dictate my articles. I'm just going to say the system here lets me brainstorm and let's say dictate an article in just 3 minutes. Now, when I click this, it automatically saves it for me, but I want you to notice something. It didn't show up down here in the public comments, but it's still here for me in these private comments. Now, here's another neat feature. I'm going to go to my profile, and under my profile now, and of course I've got other stuff in here because I'm logged in as an administrator. I'll show you how this looks when we continue on with the demo. But for now, you know, when you click on, you know, in a WordPress site, you have your profile, and now when we go to your notes, oops, on this one, I'm going to have to show you on the other one. We're still working with this one, but it'll actually show up all of your private notes right here. So that makes it a completely different experience. So that's the first thing, is that when you go through here, you can not only create your own private notes, but you can actually check off that things are done. So you can like go through every single post step by step and see what's been finished and what hasn't. So that's the very first thing. So I want you to think of, from the user's perspective, having the ability to have public and private notes and being able to check that things are completed.
Hey, Lance, do you want to check again? I've just updated.
Okay, perfect. So now I'll go back here. And if I go back to my profile, my notes, there we go. So you can see now in here, here is the thing on how to dictate my articles. It says that I have completed that task. I've marked it completed. Gives me a direct link right back to that particular post. And I've got a list of all of the posts that I've marked off as completed. So now what you can literally do is have your training, have your sites, have the step-by-step progress through every single piece of your membership site. And at the same time, each individual user, and I want this to be really ingrained in your head, is that this is for each individual user has access to this page, so they get their private notes, they can see what they made the note on, whether they completed it or not. So if I go to how to manage my team and I look at it, you'll see, let me down at the bottom where the notes are, oops, where is it on here? Maybe this one was from before we added the new one. All right.
We might have set it to hide it on this page.
Yeah, it is. And we'll show where we do that in a minute, because Teresa's already asking about it. But now, so if I go back to my notes, I can say, well, all right, how do I dictate my articles there? And it's completed. Well, let's say I decided I want to remember to go back and do it again. Well, I can go to my completed tasks right here and go to how to dictate my articles. And oh, you know what? I know what just happened here. It's because it's locked. Robert.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we'll show this when I set up the other site here. Really
gotta
quick.
love live demos, right, Lance?
But
I mean, what's cool about this, in that back end where it lists all your notes, is I've been looking at, because we've had this running on about 3 of our membership sites, is that some people they will like write out their actual notes, like they'll like write out an outline. Some of them will actually say, well, based on what was in the audio and the video. They make a task list for themselves, and they'll mark them off. But some of them, I see a lot of people, they'll watch, like, say, like a 90, 60-minute video, and they'll leave a note saying, I was 10 minutes in. So then what happens is they can leave this note saying I was 10 minutes in, and then
they know
log in
exactly
again
where to go.
and see this list and say, okay, this is where I stopped. I was 10 minutes in. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to continue.
Start right there. Yep. And so a bunch of people are asking, well, can the administrator see these? Well, I'm glad you asked, because remember how we talked about this is there's lots of uses for this. There's accountability, there's coaching, there's actual, having people, if you're working with an offline client and you say, get these 10 things done, they need to be able to prove that it actually happened. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and I think, did I make, yeah. And I'm going to go down to WP Notepad in the settings. Oh, and let me, I'm going to pause my screen.
Oh, you know what happened, Lance?
Yeah,
was
I do.
when I updated the plugin, it had licensing, so that's why the notes did not appear.
Yeah, I'm going to put in my license right here. I've got the
screen paused.
And we'll go. I think this is my license. There we go. Okay, so now when I go back here to Tools and WP Admin, I've got this whole report here. And I'm just going to, the neat thing is that you can see reports for a certain post, for example. Right now it's showing all. You can see the notes and tasks that certain users have actually completed. So I'm going to show just the ones that I've done right here. And you'll notice a couple of things. First of all, here's the post that we just did where I checked completed, and I put in my note. The system has lets me brainstorm and dictate an article in 3 minutes. So as the administrator, I can see what each user has been up to. But now, here's something really cool. If I go back to this particular post, and I'm going to open this in a new tab. Oops, I opened the wrong one here. Go back to here.
If you want to go to the post, click View Post, not the title.
Oh, there we go. Of course. Open a new tab. And I go back here. Now, I can look at my notes. I could even change them. So I can say, like, here is a change. And I can uncomplete the step, and it's automatically saved for me. So now if I go back here and I pick my report again for myself and show that report, now look at this. It's a little bit different. So now here's my change, and the checkbox is now gone. Now let's say that I was working with a client or a coaching student or something else, and they went in, and let's just go in and make one more change here. So we'll go back here and we'll go, here is another note, and I'm going to click I've completed this step. All right. Now as the administrator, let's say that I don't want that information to change because now I'm going to go and buy a domain name based on that. I'm going to install plugins based on that. I'm going to do some action based on those notes, and we both need to be on a common sort of playing ground, and things aren't allowed to change. So if I go back into the control panel here, now you'll notice on that post, here's my new note, it's marked completed, but now watch what I can do. See where it says status unlocked? I can actually click on this button, and now that post has been locked for that particular
the note
user.
Has been locked,
the note has been locked. So now if I go back and try to change something on that post, I can't. I can't type anything more. I can still see what's there. I can't change the status. I can't change anything about it, so that now we have a place to move forward inside of our training, inside of our accountability, inside of our building something for somebody else. So this is like, and yeah, like what Teresa's saying, for doing website design, this is really awesome, because basically what you do is like what we've done in this site, where you have basically a step-by-step system where you have to do step 1 before step 2 before step 3, and you don't want people changing things as you go. So that's basically how it works. The other thing, before we move on to some of the other really cool things I want to show you in here, just because this has been asked, is if I go back to Tools and I go back to WP Notepad, there is also this Settings tab in here. And the Setting tab is pretty cool. So you might notice that on ours we called them notes. Well, if you want to change that to something else, you just type it in here and it changes. Instead of saying notes, it'll put whatever text you want there. If you, instead of saying I've completed this step, you can change it to I've finished viewing this content, or whatever you want to put there. So all of the language and the words that you see on those checkboxes and around those notes are completely customizable for you. You are also able to check whether or not you want the notes to show at all. So basically, what if you wanted just checkboxes but not the ability to take notes? Then you can do that as well. You may have noticed when I checked stuff or when I typed stuff in, the system said it automatically was saving for me. That's Ajax. So, you know, some browsers, some sites will have conflicts with other plugins, some won't. So we give you the ability to have that autosave feature, or you can turn it off simply by unchecking the box.
And the autosave feature is so cool because, I mean, usually, I don't know about you, Lance, but if I'm in a lot of membership sites or even on a free WordPress blog, maybe I'm watching a video, I go to leave a comment while the video is still playing, and then suddenly video starts over. But what this does is, since the autosaves is you can be watching a video, you can be half an hour into the video and be typing in notes and saving those notes, and the video will still continue playing just fine.
Yeah, and that's huge because that frustrates me to no end, especially like on sites where I'm leaving comments, like you said. So I'm watching, I'm like, this is awesome. I want to remember, 15 minutes in, and I hit save, and my video starts over. I can't stand, and it sucks. It's not what we want to have. So that Ajax feature, totally cool. Now, a lot of people have been asking, can I control which posts or pages these show up on? And of course the answer to this is yes. You can pick individual posts, or you can say to show it on all posts. You can also have different categories. So you can have stuff for individual posts, post categories, or all posts. You also have the same functionality for pages as well. And one thing I really want to drive home about everything that you've seen so far inside of this is that this, first of all, will work with any membership plugin that you may have with WordPress. And even better, you don't need a membership plugin to use all of these features that we're showing you here. Because remember, if you have just WordPress alone, you can force people to actually create a login to your WordPress site. So all of the features that you're looking at right here are strictly dependent on just the person having a login to your WordPress site. And I want to stress that very much, because, I mean, that is just an amazing feature that nobody else has, as well as a huge addition to any membership plugin you may have.
So what you're saying is, whether someone is running WordPress with Wishlist, with DAP, with STMember, with Magic Member, or with any other membership plugin that may come out in the future, this will still be compatible with that.
Or no membership plugin.
Right. So, or even if you're not even running a membership site and you just manually are creating individual user accounts, this will still work even without a membership plugin.
Pretty awesome. And then down here we've got some advanced features, and I'm not going to go into this right just yet because I want to show you these things, because this is, I mean, what we've showed you is awesome. What we're about to show you is like the coolest thing I've ever seen inside of a membership site. And yes, Tom, it works just with a blog. It's a plugin. You just have to create, like Robert said, create a manual user in your WordPress, and this will work for each user that you have in your WordPress site the same way that will. And I'll show you that here in just a few minutes as well. But I want to move on to what I think is even cooler than what we've just looked at. I'm going to go over here to this module 202 part, and I'm going to, right here, you see we've got these procedures. And this is basically a step-by-step process like we've been talking about that we want to go through when we're getting the transcription. I'm not going to show you everything, but let's go to step 3, for example, where we're going to hire a contractor. Now, here's what I want, the part that I want you to notice here, is that I've got this sort of, I can click on these things right here, and basically every single time I hire somebody, I use this exact same template. So like we talked about at the beginning, let's say you wanted to have a real estate rental agreement that people could fill out online. Well, this is basically the same type of thing. So instead of having them have to like fill all this out, figure it out, change it on their own, what we're actually able to do is now instead of hiring Helen, I'm going to hire Robert. And the audio file that I want to have is no longer here. It is here. Now, did everybody notice what just happened? First of all, this all changed down here inside of this box automatically for me. So if I wanted to change this person to Teresa, boom, automatically changed. Nothing refreshes, nothing happens. But here's what happens a lot of times is that people, so now they've got their form, they've got their plug and play stuff. Remember, how do you get people coming back to their site? Give them tools that they need to come and create on your site. This is an example of that. Now what happens is a lot of people, they try to do this, they get, all of it. If you've ever tried to cut and paste something on the internet, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's this really cool feature in here. See this right here where it says copy to clipboard? I hit that. It automatically highlights the part that I want. I can right click and go copy, hit done copying, and now I've got exactly the part of the form that I want. So for example, I can go back here and now I can paste this wherever I want. I've got my exact, just the part that I want. So you can create these forms, and these forms can be can get even more complex. So for example,
and real quick, Lance, before you continue, one thing that I hope everyone noticed was that when you came to this page, it was already filled out from your previous
last time. Yes.
previous time you filled it out. So this is cool because if you were, like, using your example, if you were a realtor and you had like an eviction notice of some kind, and you had like your name on there, you had like the person's name on there, you had like whatever other information, it's already pre-filled out from the previous time. So maybe, and I've just found, because like you and I use this tool all the time, is usually you only change one or two things from last time. And so even in this example, usually then this is for when we're getting audios transcribed, usually we have all our audios in the same folder. So instead of having to go and find the exact part in our video where we explain this template, or open up a PDF, or go and find the thing, we just click on this link, and we use this every day, and then just change the end part of the URL, or just change that one name and then copy it. And I mean, it saves a few minutes every time you do this, which adds up to every year, several weeks now.
And even going on with the real estate sort of example, is that you might have real estate people from all over the country, and so for them, they might only work in Utah. So for them, they'll always want, certain variables always the same. And it's a huge time saver not to have to only change the parts that you ever have to change. So I agree, that's a huge thing where it stores your previous information, so you only have to change the part that you change.
And just being able to add this to your site, I mean, you're going to be able to charge a lot more for whatever it is you're charging, and you're going to have people have a lot better experience and stay in longer. And if you don't, and this work with any niche, if you don't believe me, just Google for whatever the name of your niche is and the word tool or like real estate template, and you'll just immediately get like 50 ideas for things that you can add into your site that people will get a lot of use out of, including yourself.
And I mean, the one that we were thinking of even yesterday when we were talking is, everybody always asks us about, our legal forms and our legal templates and all of this stuff that we're required to have, our privacy policy and all of that. And I'm like, man, if somebody would just take their templates, add this into it, I mean, they've got a membership site that they could charge easily, $200 a year for, just to have people log in. And every time they have a new site, create, just change, instead their name would be there, their address would be there. They might just have to change the URL or something, and all of their forms get generated for them automatically. So I want to show just another quick one, and then I want to show you how this all happens, because you're going to be blown away when you see how easy this is. But I want to show you this article idea generator. Yes, Robert.
Well, I was gonna say, even on the that last page, Notice
Yes.
how it signed it with your name?
Oh,
Because
yes.
that's your username.
Because that's it's tied to who I am inside of the membership site. So instead, like, and I mean, that's a huge thing. If you've ever even sent emails out, like, it sucks to type your name every time. If it's always going to be there, you can just have that show up for each individual user on its own.
Yep, just wanted to point that out.
And so, and these get way more complex. In fact, just to give you guys an idea, I'm not going to show you all of this, but I'll show you a little bit of it. Is that, like, oops, this isn't it, is it? Let me see. Yep. Is that even on these, like, where we have all this stuff, like, if I want, I've got this job down here, you can see at the top, it says, like, I have two, and I'll just real quick show you guys how big this is. So this is a big job description that Robert and I use. It's like, I have 2 MP3 files for 95 minutes. Well, what if today I don't have 2 files, I have 10? And what if today it's not 95 minutes, but they total 120 minutes? Well, now, did you notice what happened? For our system, it not only changed, how many, or you can see here 10 and 20, and of course I can change them here as well. Change this to 130 minutes. But watch what happens when I change this from 120 to 130. My budget just changed, and that's because of the system that we've got. But all of this stuff happens automatically, and the only thing that Robert and I have to change to make our entire transcription process works is telling the system how many files they are, how long the files total, and what the deadline is, and the system does the rest. Then I just copy to clipboard, paste it to my outsourcer, and I'm done. I don't have to think or do anything anymore. And again, being able to come back to the membership site every time I have to do this keeps bringing your members back. And that's what you really want to focus on. So just to give you guys a different thing that you can use this for is, like, we've got this article idea generator in here. And again, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but it works the same way, where you put in what is the name of your niche, and then we've just got all of these starter questions for people. So when I came in, last time I wanted to do something about membership sites, but what if I want to come in here and I want to do stuff on productivity? Well, I type in productivity, and guess what? Now I've got a whole list of different stuff that have to do with productivity. And so, I mean, really think about how you can use this stuff. So that is the second part of WP Notepad. So what we've talked about right now is we've talked about the private comments, we've talked about the checklist, we've talked about the form generator, and what I want to do in the last couple minutes here is I want to show you I want to show you one more example too, just because this form generator is so powerful. So I'm going to go to inside Webinar Crusher, we have a product called Webinar Opt-in. And one of the problems that we have is that we need them to put a certain script in their site for them. And this always gets messed up for whatever reason. So what did we do? Well, we made a system in order for people to actually come in and do that. And so watch what happens. See where it says registration URL? So now everybody that uses this plugin, they can come in here and they can click, what is your GoToWebinar registration URL? They can paste that in right there. You can see the whole URLs pasted in. And now I click OK, and look what happens. Now all I have to do, instead of worrying about like where these quotes go, where the equal signs go, where the question marks go, doesn't matter. All I do is just copy to clipboard, copy this, and paste it into my website, and now it's all working. So tons of uses for this type of technology. All right. So now let's go over here. I've got this blog set up because I want to show you guys, I want to give you guys a pretty basic demonstration of how you can create these types of forms on your own. And I've got this site here called wpnotepad.com/demo. I'm actually logged in as a user called Lance Tommy. So I'm going to bring up, you can notice this is in Chrome. I'm actually going to bring up Firefox here because I'm logged in as an administrator. That's what you're looking at now. The exact same site, WP Notepad demo. And I'm going to do a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Add New, and I'm going to create a new post. So I'm just going to put this as WP Notepad, and you guys will all be able to see this, and you'll be able to see the difference between being logged in and being logged out as well. So I'm going to go to WP Notepad demo, And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in some code. And again, this is inside of, if you ever need to know where this is, it's in the plugin at the very bottom where I showed you in the advanced. It shows you all of these codes. But what I'm going to do is paste this in. And what I've done is I've pasted in this code right here that says WP Notepad placeholder. I put hi WP Notepad placeholder. And then there's 3 arguments in here. There is Lance, and then it says, who is this for? And then it says first name. Okay, so I'm going to post that in here. We can, again, go over here, and I'll put a comma. And let's just see what that looks like, because we're just starting out our form. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And let's go view our post. Oops. Good old. There we go. Open link in new tab. And if we go here now, you can see I've got hi Lance, and that came from the first argument right here, Lance. Let me see if I can make this. Let's see if I can make this a little bit show up. There you go. So there's 3 arguments here, and they're separated by these colons. So whatever I put in here, so if I don't want it to say Lance as a default, I can say user, and then watch what happens. When I update this, I go back to the site, hit reload, and now it says hi user. And remember, anything that I click on here, now it says who is this for? So when I click on this, I can say hi user. Well, I don't want to say user. I want it to say who is this for? We'll put Lance again. And now it changes for me. So in here it says that's where the user came from. This is where the question, who is this for, came from. And now I've got this thing called first name, which means that anywhere, again, where I use this exact same code with first name, it'll show up there again. So I can say hi user, and then I can say the same thing. I'll just put this code again. No, I'll put your friend, and then what I'm going to do is just copy this again, and I'll copy this and paste this in here, and I'm going to change this instead of first name. I'm going to change this to friend name, and I'll put who is this from. Okay. So now I've got hi user, your friend told me that you would love WP Notepad. Check it out. Okay, so now I'm going to hit update here, and let's see what we've got. So now, when you come in here, and all of you guys should be able to see this, not logged in, it says, hi Lance, your friend user told me that you would love WP Notepad. So I could change this and say Robert. And I mean, that's cool, but I mean, now we still have the same problem, right? It's like, it's kind of a form, but I mean, I can't really highlight it well. I can't change everything, and I can't do anything. So now, let me show you another cool little thing I can do. I'm going to take this tag right here, and I'll paste this in here. And just at the top, I'm going to put this thing that says WP Notepad questions, and I'm going to hit update. Now let's go back to our post over here, and I'm going to hit reload. And now check out what just happened. Now those questions show up. So if I had this long form in here, I said, who is this for? Well, now let's make this be for Judy. And we can make it, if you notice, it says, hi Judy, your friend Robert. But this isn't from Robert anymore. I'm going to make this come from Scott. So make it say from Scott, hi Judy, your friend Scott told me that you would love WP Notepad. Check it out. And everything's changed. But now, we still have another problem here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add another little piece of text up here underneath the questions, and I'm going to call this WP Notepad copy. And I'm going to go over to the HTML side, and around what I want to go in that copy box, I'm going to put in block quote.
Actually, you can use the editor for that.
Oh, you are right. I just thought of it right when I heard you come in. I'm going to go back to Visual, and I'm going to highlight this. and let's get all of it. Let's get rid of some of this spacing that's weird so it looks the way we want. And I can put in other stuff here. I can put in, like down here, I can, oops, let me get this. Down here I can put in, type in the to and from names above. And then, but what I want to be copied is just this part. So I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to click on, which one is it?
Quotation right there.
This one, which is the block quotes. Click on that, and now I'm going to update this, and let's see what happens here. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to hit refresh, and now look what happens when I hit. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, this text that I typed in here that is not within the block quote in the post, when I click copy to clipboard, it doesn't get copied, just the part that we want. Okay, when I change any of this, now we could say it's for Robert from Lance, and I can copy to clipboard. And you can have as many of these as you want. Also, you can duplicate them again. So just real quick so you can see that. We've got, the first name. So let's say, let's change our message here. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to make this look a little bit better here. And it says, check it out. I'm going to paste this back in here. Who is this for? So check this out, Lance. You are really going to love it. Okay? And I'm going to update that. And now when we go back to our post, make this a little bigger, hit reload, look what happens. Now I've got it down here, Robert, you're really going to love it. Hi, Robert, your friend Lance. So I can change this again. I can say, who is this for? Donna. Hit OK. And it changes in every area where I use that first name. So you can get really complex with this. You can use URLs. You can have it be wherever you want it. But this, again, is out in the publics. Right? Let me, if you're logged out here. So I'm going to actually really quick log out of this site. Go to log out. And let's go back and just look at the site. Go back to the demo. And again, everybody can see it. No comments, right? So let's do something a little bit different. I'm going to go back over here where I'm logged in to the same site as a different user named Lance Tommy, and I'm going to go to WP Notepad Demo, and again, I can change this. You notice, since I haven't done this before, it's back to all of the defaults. Remember, Robert told us that it's actually going to save what's in there. So I'm going to go ahead and go, this is for Lance, this is from Robert, and create my form. But now look what happens. Because I'm logged into the membership site, remember this is just WordPress. Because I'm logged into WordPress, I have a private note here now. So I can be like, this form thing is awesome. Okay, and I can say that I've completed this. It automatically saved for me. Now, remember, we want to be able to see those notes at some other time. So I can go to edit my profile, my notes, and now check it out. Here's my note. This thing is awesome. On the demo, you can see the completed tasks. Everything is there automatically for me. So what I want to do again, I'm going to switch back to my non-logged in site and take a look and check it out. No comments at all showing up. Again, that comment is totally private to only the user that was logged into the site. That note, exactly. Now, I want to do one last thing here. I'm going to log back in. This is my administrator account for this blog.
And you know what, Lance, while you're logging in, I mean, it's so cool because if someone's brand new, they can just choose to use this out of the box, just to allow users to take notes, check off tasks, view their tasks. But then if they want to go a little bit extra, if they know how to copy and paste, you can add these forms, but it's totally optional.
It's totally optional, every bit of it. And again, you can see it's been saved for me. I can lock or unlock the note. Everything is there. And again, just so you guys can see this, there is nothing installed on this WordPress installation besides WP Notepad. So you can do all of this with just WordPress on its very own. And so the thing about all of this stuff that we've been talking about today, and it's been a lot. We've been talking about WP Notepad, how it's actually changing everything, and think about it. This is the very first WordPress plugin that actually enhances your customers, your clients' experience, and your digital products. We've shown a million different ways, and I'm sure that there's tons of you out there that are coming up with their own ways how you're going to be able to use this awesome, awesome plugin. You can create checklists, you can create private notes, you can create custom forms. It increases your user's experience, your experience, and how you deal with your users, and everybody gets more results. Remember, this works with WordPress right out of the box. I just showed you that. And here's the thing. We want you to use WP Notepad on any site that you personally own. Any site that you personally own. And if you think about it, at the beginning I told you that most premium WordPress plugins for membership sites cost $297. So at $97, WP Notepad is an absolute steal. But here's the thing. Robert and I have been developing this, like I said, for over 1 year. And we've put a lot of thought into this. We've put a lot of work into this. There's been a lot of debugging on this. And because we've had it out there, we've been using it for so long, we really want everybody to have this. And at $47, when you think about using it on all of your own sites, when you think about all of the features it includes, $47 is an absolute steal. But I told you guys in my emails that I really wanted to shock you guys with what we're going to do with this thing. And this is something that I truly believe if you're going to be successful online, your business absolutely needs this. And to make it affordable for everybody, what if we call it $27? But here's the thing. Robert and I want to do something for you guys because you guys have done a ton for us. And we didn't do Black Friday. We didn't do Cyber Monday. So when we talked about this, we were thinking, if we can help you guys help your customers because you guys have helped us, $17 would be an amazing steal for the amount of effort for what happened with this actual plugin and what it can do for your business. But here's the other thing. We want some testimonials for this, and we want to introduce this into the marketplace. And since we honestly believe that every single online business that's going to succeed will eventually be using this plugin, and you're here today, we're going to have a 72-hour sale that starts right now. So for the next 72 hours, you can claim your copy of WP Notepad, use it on any site that you personally own for just $7. No kidding, not joking, $7. So what are you waiting for? Go to www.wpnotepad.com right now. Claim yours today. Again, just 72 hours, $7 at www.wpnotepad.com. Go ahead, do it right now. Download yours today. In fact, I'll do it with you right now. So what you want to do is go to www.wpnotepad, that's WPNOTEPAD.com. You can see all of the information right here on this page. You'll scroll down to the very bottom, click to join for just $7. Again, for the next 72 hours, it's $7, a single payment to use on any site that you personally own. And of course, you're covered by our 30-day money-back guarantee. If it doesn't work for you for some reason, if you don't like it, if your members say that they don't want personal comments, then let us know. We'll get you your money back. No hard feelings. This is an absolute steal. Again, go to www.wpnotepad.com. Click to join. $7, single payment. Secure yours today. We'll see you on the inside. Thank you very much for spending your day with us. We will talk to you very soon.